We are in the middle, the very middle of the tourist area of Barcelona actually, but which is also the old town. So we came here years ago, 12 years ago. It was a holiday. I had just done a huge stint of working, my wife and I. We were just like 10-hour, 12-hour, 14-hour days. Got here, and sort of looking around, you could see we're falling in love, I suppose, with the place. It was like, we need to find somewhere. We need to find somewhere to buy. It was just a stupid notion. It made no sense. We didn't think it was ever going to work, but let's do it. Let's go look around and see if we can find our place in Europe somewhere. And then we came into this place.
Things I have you do on a Wednesday morning.
Yeah, exactly.
I've seen and also done probably 15, 20 drawings of how the flat could be laid out. The main things that drove how it came out was don't want to do any structural changes, and I absolutely did not want a passage at the back that you have to walk down to get to a bathroom.
Hey, Jason.
And somewhere along the line, someone suggested a sort of open living idea, and the bathroom was the divider to make these living spaces. And I think at the time, we just had my oldest girl. There was just this idea of her being able to sort of get to us, and you imagine it, you sort of make this perfect, oh, it'll be so great, we'll be sitting on the floor and playing together.
1 sec.
So we fell for the idea, and then I guess in the end we had to make the idea work. Then we had another girl, and they needed a room, and we needed a room. So a day-night thing. This idea that you have the day-night space. So in the day, it's open for everyone to hang out, you know, living on one side and the sort of cooking, eating, that sort of thing on the other. And in the night it changed. So there was a drawing that separated them at night. So we had to figure that one out. Tess spent ages on Pinterest coming up with like ways to do it.
The first time I saw this apartment, it was falling apart, but there was a lot of charm though.
Everything about it that was appealing was probably invisible to most people, but we were so desperate to find something that we could change and preserve. When we stepped in and saw the floor, which I think most people would tell us is nothing in the standards of Spanish floors and tiles and so on, we were just like, that's the guy. We can see the floor. It's not laminate, it's not hidden. We want it. We didn't know what was behind the ceiling, and that was a gamble.
There were things to uncover. It was like 3 days per beam, you know, to like uncover, to make it look like that, because it was covered in layers and layers of paint as well.
Knowing what this would become took a long time. It was, for the most part, it was just a thoroughfare. This is narrower than a normal kitchen. So at one stage it was going to be both sides, kind of an islandish thing. Then it was going to be opened out.
Actually, I had done a plan for him where I took this down. I mean, when I see a wall like this, I just, you know. So I had kind of worked on a plan, maybe we could take this down, I'll put the kitchen here, da da da. And he was like, no, we're not touching the wall.
So really, there was nowhere else for a kitchen. And it seemed like it could fit. So we did some imaginary bending and kind of like it would be here, it would be there. And it just stayed. So yeah. My dad, by the way, is like super keen on yachting, so he's always screamed, small galley kitchen is the way to go.
Is there a refrigerator?
The fridge is just at the front. A fridge.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
It's so hidden. It looks like a cabinet. That's great.
Yeah.
And a freezer.
Yeah, freezer below. And a washing machine downstairs. So, so like it's close enough to feel, and I mean with the table being here, it does pull that in. So if I'm here cooking and there's people there and I'm going back and forth to the fridge all the time, it sort of invites them in a bit more, which is what this hole does as well. So you can be sort of socializing with people.
Yes, I'll have the knife.
Knife? Oh, okay, you're gonna do this scraping.
Great.
So it doesn't feel like a compromise.
Great. Put the knife down.
Oopsie.
And then as we came through to the back, again, you could see the old traces on the floor. There was a wall here that separated that side into this size of a room. And this was quite a different shape. This was sort of open and there was a wall there to a toilet. And then the back here was a kitchen. So this whole shape was completely different. That door was this door. that was here. You can see that's the kind of, just the general condition of it. So the first incarnation of this was a kind of cubicle that we'd seen in little hotels where they just sort of abuse the space a bit, and it doesn't matter because you don't live there. So you can sort of have a shower in your bathroom or a divide just to separate. Because I wanted to kill any idea of having a passage because I just felt like it was going to die. We were going to walk down this long waste of space at the back of the apartment. The rooms would feel smaller because they'd be cut off from each other, and the bathroom would be this thing tucked at the back, and that just couldn't be. So we'd also established there was no way we were going to be able to preserve the original wooden windows and doors as part of the final layout. Now, my wife has a thing about scale. She absolutely loves things that are stupidly small or stupidly big. So like a really dumb big hat or a teacup that's super tiny. So I just said to her, this will fit, and then showed her like what you ended up with in a bathroom where typically in Barcelona, and I guess so many of these kind of more dense European cities, you end up with a tiny bathroom. One of those quarter-sized baths with a shower pouring into the bathroom. We were like, that's just going to feel like you're on a cheap holiday every time you're there. So we wanted to be slightly wasteful with the space. So we ended up with this kind of excessive space where you can just sort of hang out in the bathroom. I think one day she'll hang a chandelier or something, or maybe she's over it, but she for a while she wanted to do that. Yeah.
And it's just all open. I mean, you see right through the kitchen.
Yeah, we do this, every now and then. You kind of think, oh, but it's the bathroom. You don't really want to see the throne at the end of it, but it works. It kind of makes it part of...
That's great. Simple toilet. And then you have room for a shower.
And a shower, yeah. And that was another thing. We wanted to be kind of spacious. So, the big rows and window out to the back.
That's great.
I think that it's fun to have the window in the shower. It's a lovely moment in the morning, no, isn't it? I love the natural light in here.
And we resisted the temptation to go, look, you could easily put a bath as well. You could do whatever. You could put 2 sinks, but it was just the case of, I don't want to be squashed in. I want to be able to move. I've got 2 kids as well, so this is actually every night I throw the music on and they just go crazy in here. When the guys were clearing the place out, they found this piece of marble.
The marble was reused, and then I found this, because this was empty, right? So it's just the base of a table.
That's great.
And so this was just laid on top, and then it was easy to fit the sink and all that.
And you didn't fill the place up with stuff.
Doing this, we were trying to clear our heads by imagining a house that was clear. So everything we did here was probably the beginning of a more minimalist approach to life in general, which in the end is what this became. We threw everything away in London. So what you see here is what we have, but we used to have a 3-story house worth of stuff. All the girls' clothes are in here. My wife and I share one there.
That's their closet.
Yeah.
Oh, your wife and you share one.
Yeah, toys are in there. When we made the decision to leave, we gave ourselves 3 months and we absolutely obliterated our belongings, like with just everything. And it was hugely cathartic.
You share that with your wife?
Yeah, and the hanging space. When we moved in, we gave it a few weeks to work out what was annoying and what we couldn't do without. And we needed somewhere to hang stuff. So we just sort of explored a few ideas and I popped it up. In an hour or so, you have a closet.
Wow. I mean, so you're down to your favorite outfits.
Pretty much. I mean, I must say people might look at me funny because I wear 3 things.
Do you really?
I have these, I have blue ones, and I have black tracksuit pants. And then I have 3 tops. And I have like uniform t-shirts. I don't have a real job, so I might as well do it. It's like I've gone back 20 years. I'm in my bedroom studio again, is where it all started. So literally a bedroom studio. I think I had more in my bedroom when I was a kid starting out. I write songs, produce music. So sometimes I go to a studio, but in the end, I bring everything back to a computer and work on it like that for a while. Ideally, I have a little more space, but even in my work, I'm fairly minimal. So I've got another keyboard and a few other bits and bobs, but I mean, I'm delivering tunes from here, just sitting in the house, yeah. Oh, there's the gym, by the way.
Yeah.
In keeping with me doing everything more minimal, this is how you stay fit without having to do anything else. I'm not going to do anything for you, that would be ridiculous, but that's where I exercise. Something, I have to do something. With my slippers on, well, you do whatever. You have to be a gymnast, you know? That kind of stuff.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like an idiot.
1, 2, 3. Someone new. 3, 2, 1.
You know what the cool thing is? The girls are doing gymnastics now.
I'm scared being here.
It's very high, isn't it? I had this stuff in London, and it's cool to be able to do it. You get up from the desk and you go and swing and do whatever. So that's work.
Okay.
That's rest. and then come and stretch it out over here. Bit of exercise, right? I'm not doing it. I can, but I'm not. And the girls' mat doubles as kind of my exercise mat. So
this was the original bathroom here. There was a toilet. There was not this original floor, so we did have to do a part cement. So because not to have too many materials going on, the continuity with this floor works well, where we kept everything really raw and clean.
yeah.
And I think that's what this apartment is. It's like raw and clean. There's another funny aspect here is that when the workers when they were restoring these beams, basically, they discovered these funny drawings in the, between the beams that we don't know what it is, but it was decided that we'll just maintain it and not paint over it because there's a spirit there somewhere, so we're keeping that spirit. This was an original door as well of the apartment. Turn these into headboards because there were so many little rooms here, so there were all these doors.
So
And-
the hardware here.
Yeah, so the hardware, we're going to do something industrial because that's what is needed to sustain this because it's very heavy door. It's like full on wood, like it's not empty or, so it's a real barn door.
I do actually close it a bit on the girls at night. I go about that far so that they feel like they're in their room, but not completely. So, small room. And you can imagine what it would have been like if it was shut with a door, because the door would intrude either this way or that way, and you'd feel like you're in this narrow little thing. And even the fact that when it's shut, it's still sort of open, it works. And then the same on this side. For us mostly, this only closes when we've got people around. And they're light enough for the girls. I mean, it's not a difficult thing to do. And then it becomes the passage that I wanted to avoid. See?
So it's
You
never
see,
like this.
Yeah, I don't think other than exploring them, I don't think so, no.
Yeah.
It probably is if someone stays here.
Okay,
We've had a few
yeah.
people stay over, I'm sure they
Yeah.
prefer it. And it's pointless thinking about things like noise because you're never going to get away from who you're with
Yeah.
in a small place like this anyway. So just like, I want to be a little bit alone or feel like I have a room, you just give it a little shove and you're kind of closed in. And then when it's open, we feel like we're kind of together, which is really nice. My 4-year-old, often at night, she'll wake up and it's like, oh, what for? And I just go, what's happening, babes? What's wrong? And she'll just answer me and that'll be the end of it. And we were this close in London, but we were in separate rooms, so you had to actually get up and go and do it. Little things like that actually start to work out.
3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
And the fact that that is still their space, that means that you wouldn't think in this kind of an area I could ever get away from them.
Ouch! Ow!
I told you to hold it below.
I wanted it to be here. Look.
But funny enough, you can. Just yesterday I was doing something at the end and they were here on the ground playing with their stuff. And I was just thinking, wow, they actually are in their room, even though we're technically in something that's the size of 2 rooms. You baking?
Birthday.
When we moved into a house in London that had a dining room in the kitchen, so we were straight away together more, everything got better immediately.
1, 2, 3.
And this is actually just an extension of that. We're sort of always together.
2, 3. Oh, 3. Renovation 10101.